A cowboy and a country girl find southern comfort in each other's arms.
You didn't say one without the other.
I just never imagined them not being together.
That's it.
But their ride off into the sunset will take a dangerous detour.
I suspect that they were more than friends.
I noticed that he was spending a lot more time over there.
And only one will survive the journey.
Matt wanted to go to John's house and basically beat him up.
I said, son, you have made the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life.
It was completely unfathomable.
Love may be blind and marriage bliss, but divorce is murder. "16-year-old Matt Allen has just started a part-time job at the local burger joint. He's been homeschooled for the past 2 years, and this is his first job.
Matt was a little sociably awkward. He was shy. He didn't like a lot of attention.
But Matt doesn't seem to mind getting attention from Elsie Wells, his supervisor.
They look vicious, but they don't bite. Easy to tame, too. Watch this.
She's 17 years old, and he develops a huge crush.
Take it easy. How are those hot dogs? The last kids that were bad turned into hot dogs.
One of the things that Matt liked so much about Elsie that appealed to him so much was that she was a little bit older than he was, and he used to laugh and say, she won't have anything to do with me, she's the boss.
Hey, Mom.
New friend?
Something like that.
Matt's drawn as much to Elsie's big personality as he is to her looks.
She's a cutie.
She was cute. She had pretty shiny hair. She was a pretty girl.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for the invite.
I didn't,
Elsie was the type that could show up at a stranger's party, make herself welcome, and fit right in with the crowd.
Elsie likes what she sees in Matt, too.
It is 4 a.m. and I'm not even tired. You have quite the effect on me, Elsie Wells. And I think I like it.
Matt was one of those people, you know, it was hard not to like Matt. You know, he was very likable. He had gorgeous blue eyes. He was always smiling, had dark black hair. He was just one of those guys that he was very friendly and approachable.
Within weeks of meeting, Matt and Elsie are officially dating.
She was Matt's dream girl. She wore a cowgirl hat. She wore the Wrangler jeans. Matt had, he was a country boy, cowboy hat, and their personalities intertwined with each other. And they was a match made in heaven.
He just seemed like he was absolutely just infatuated with her, and she seemed equally smitten.
Elsie soon becomes part of Matt's family.
That was amazing, Mrs. Allen.
She got along really well with me and my husband, Rob.
Let me help you clear up.
Oh, no, that's fine, Elsie. I'll do it. My goodness, your mother's lucky to have you.
Yeah.
But she's tight-lipped about her own.
I don't think Elsie and her mother had a very close relationship. That's just the impression that I got.
There was a lot of alcoholism in Elsie's family.
Hey, give me a drink.
They drank often to excess.
I said, give me a drink now.
Her home life it was like a don't ask, don't tell. But you could kind of tell that there was some problems or something that just wasn't right.
Yeah, cut it out. You'd give the poor girl a heart attack.
Yes, they would run through the house and play, just like two children.
Surrender!
He loved to aggravate her, pick at her in a playful kind of way, yes.
Always.
We accepted her with open arms, and she just fit right in.
After graduating high school, Elsie lands a job as an optometrist assistant, while Matt follows in his father's footsteps.
His daddy had taught him to weld at home, and Matt loved to weld.
And a few weeks later, they're celebrating again. This time, it's their engagement.
Married?
Ma, I'm almost 20. I love her.
No, you're too young.
It was not that I didn't want them to get married. It's just that I wanted them to wait a while. She was his first real girlfriend.
Ma, please, come on.
Oh, come here.
They wanted to spend the rest of their life together, and they wanted to get a jump start on it.
Elsie and Matt are married at a local church 3 years after meeting. He's 19 and she's 20.
It was a pretty wedding. Matt wanted her to have a bouquet of red roses. They had to be real. They could not be silk. He also had a red rose as a boutonniere. She had a beautiful ring. He picked a beautiful ring out for her.
They were ecstatic. Matt was absolutely over the moon. I'd never seen him smile that big until that day.
Phyllis and her husband Rob give the cash-strapped newlyweds a mobile home as a wedding gift, and they move on to the Allen property.
I was happy to do that because I knew that my son would not be moving very far from home.
Then, just 8 months later, more good news.
Mom, Dad, we're having a baby.
Oh, that's great, you too.
He loved the idea of becoming a father.
Can you believe it? I can't believe it.
Baby Daniel is born in January 2000.
They were very happy, as we all were. So he was thrilled to have his son.
He just became a great big softie, you know, and he absolutely loved that baby.
Oh, it's so hard to leave you guys.
With a family to support, Matt starts working long hours, often out of town.
He went to work in a welding shop,
Go get him, Tiger.
Yes, ma'am.
and he was gone from home. It could be up to 2 days at a time that he would be gone. Elsie did not mind for Matt to be gone because she knew the money was good, and she knew they needed it.
It should be the happiest time of the couple's lives. But something's not right.
After Daniel was born, I could begin to see a difference in her.
She was just a lot more moody. It was like the smallest thing just kind of, you know, it got on her nerves.
Months go by, and Elsie still hasn't bounced back, nor has she lost her pregnancy weight.
I believe after Daniel was born that Elsie did have some depression.
Psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser and forensic psychologist Brian Russell think there's a good reason for Elsie's depression.
I'm not surprised at all that Elsie had a bit of an emotional breakdown. Things moved very quickly with this couple. They went from being these young teenagers in love to getting married and having a child in a very short period of time. That puts a lot of stress on a relationship and subsequently the people in it.
There's a chance that Elsie was even suffering from some postpartum depression. Elsie had a relatively unstable childhood, and I think that the way in which we're parented does affect the way in which we then later go on to parent. And you add on top of that for a woman some of the biochemical things that happen in connection with pregnancy and childbirth, and you can imagine that this was an emotional roller coaster time for Elsie in particular.
After a few months of depression, Elsie snaps out of her funk. She starts working out, buys herself a new wardrobe, and even gets a new job.
She changed her personal appearance drastically.
Almost overnight. Like, it was just instantaneous.
I'm feeling lucky today. I'm gonna catch one that big.
Oh, yeah? Well, man, wouldn't be this big.
I don't think so.
You could hurt someone with something that big, John.
Matt's not the only one happy to have the old Elsie back. His longtime friend John also seems to take a shine to her.
They were really close, good friends. They would go fishing together, hunting, you know, that type of thing. Just really close friends. I noticed that he was spending a lot more time over there when Matt wasn't there.
Elsie would just say, well, John dropped by just to check on us. And it got to where we could see his truck there quite often.
Behind closed trailer doors, the honeymoon is waning.
Hey, baby, do you see?
Oh, Matt, you're filthy! Get off of me!
Hey! Nice welcome.
What do you want, Matt? You're never here, and when you do come home, it's all about you.
I was working.
Things don't get better.
Elsie! Hey, talk to me. What are you doing?
I don't want to do this anymore.
Hey, Elsie! Where are you going? Hey!
2.5 years after Daniel is born, Elsie leaves Matt, taking the toddler with her.
Oh, I was devastated because I had treated Elsie like she was my own daughter.
It hurt him. It hurt him bad.
He was absolutely devastated. I mean, it was like his whole world just crashed down around him.
Elsie rents a small trailer about 4 miles away and moves in with Daniel.
Elsie never gave Matt a reason that I know of or that he would tell me.
And when Matt does learn that reason,
Elsie, what are you talking about?
the consequences are devastating.
I have to tell you something.
The relationship had kind of just destructed, just self-destructed.
I still, to this day, don't know what was going through his head.
Elsie Allen walks away from her high school sweetheart and the father of her baby after 3 years. Her husband, Matt, can't understand why.
Matt was defensive about Elsie. He didn't want to believe nothing negative about her because he loved her so much.
People had been telling him, oh, well, why is John over at your house when you're not at home so much?
The reason soon becomes glaringly obvious.
A few days after Elsie left Matt, I had heard she had a trailer, so I went by to find out where the trailer was so we would at least know where her and the baby was at, because we were worried about them. So then, it just hit me in the stomach of what actually had happened, that she had actually left Matt to pursue a relationship with John.
His wife and his best friend, I mean, that would devastate anyone. It hurts, and it hurt him.
He was very depressed and withdrawn, and it was hard seeing him like that.
Matt is a passive guy. From the beginning of this relationship, Elsie initiated the whole thing. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that when she decides to leave him, he is passive and he doesn't fight to get her back.
One of the dangers when people get married and start a family as young as Matt and Elsie did is that they're not equipped yet to be able to recognize and articulate when there are problems. And this is why that lack of maturity of communication skills is so dangerous.
Sometimes when people are in relationships that they hope will work, they know what's going on, but they don't want to look at it. And they just sit there and hope that it will get better and it will go away as long as they behave and follow the straight and narrow. Matt thought if he just waited it out and did what he thought was right, that Elsie would come around and be the woman that he fell in love with.
In true Southern style, the Allen family huddles around Matt after Elsie leaves him.
Matt, look, I brought Mikey to see you.
Matt, how's it going?
Look, why don't you sit down? I'll make you guys a cup of coffee.
He wouldn't talk, and that's how you would know that he was mad about something. When he got quiet, he was upset about something.
Matt, you're better off without her. Snap out of it.
Hey.
Come on!
I told Matt that that's the best thing that could ever happen to him, that leave his trash on the side of the road for somebody else to have.
Elsie files for divorce, and Matt seems to accept it. Slowly.
You know, to let go of the love of his life, his childhood sweetheart, and he took some time to deal with it in the process.
He didn't go over there and confront them or anything like that, you know. He said, well, if that's what she wants to do, then, you know, she go ahead, just go ahead.
The new exes settle into a typical separated with kids arrangement.
Elsie?
She has primary custody, and Matt has visitation.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Matt was to get Daniel every other weekend, and I think a week through the summer.
That for me? Ah, that's a nice dinosaur.
Except it's not exactly a clean break. Whenever Elsie and John have a fight, it's Matt she goes running to.
She played the pity party with Matt. She would have some elaborate story on something that John had did to her. He was constantly holding out hope that him and Elsie would rekindle their relationship.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, what's up?
I have to tell you something.
Okay.
John and I are having a baby.
Then, 3 months after Elsie leaves Matt, she tells him that she's pregnant with John's child.
We'll talk later, okay?
The math means that she was pregnant before she left.
It was more or less heartbreak. That kind of solidified the end of it.
In April 2003, Elsie gives birth to a daughter, Sarah, and 3 months later, marries John. Almost immediately, she starts to cancel weekend visits between Matt and Daniel.
Hello.
She didn't want him to have anything to do with Daniel.
Elsie, well, okay, calm down, What's going on?
And Matt didn't really know how to deal with that.
Elsie, what are you talking about?
Matt doesn't fight her for custody and slowly loses touch with his son.
Even though Matt missed his son, he just didn't have the money to do it. And the lawyer discouraged it. He said, I think that it would be a no-win situation, and you would have spent a lot of money and time, you know, for nothing.
I told Matt to cut Elsie loose and to quit having anything to do with her. All she was going to do is hurt him.
Matt takes Mike's advice and eventually starts dating again.
Yeah, man, I don't know about this. Come on, cuz. Go for her.
You know what? I'm already there, baby.
Matt was a good-looking guy, and he had a good personality about him, and that just automatically, you know, made him a magnet to the females around our area.
Hey, how you doing? Excuse me.
He could have had any woman that he wanted, and he did have several girlfriends, none very seriously, though, until he met Tiffany.
Hi. I'm Matt. Matt Allen, nice to meet you. It's too formal? Oh, kind of like a business meeting. You want me to get you a drink?
I thought he was a very good-looking man. He was fun. A little bit of the bad boy thing going on, and I liked that. I was attracted to him, and we just had good times.
Tiffany and Matt start dating.
We were always together.
And within a month, are seeing each other exclusively.
Oh, shit. Hey, Mom. This here's Tiffany.
Oh, Tiffany, I'm so glad to meet you.
Oh, I liked her. She had a bubbly personality. She was very sweet.
Aren't at you. Gorgeous. You're as cute as a
All right, Ma,
bug.
enough gushing now. We don't want her to think you like her too much now, do we?
Oh, go on.
What's for dinner?
Come on in and find
Tiffany was absolutely, completely devoted to him. She absolutely worshiped him.
Matt had finally found him a good woman. I couldn't see a flaw in her.
I was happy because I thought this is surely going to put an end to Elsie flipping and flopping back and forth.
It certainly looks that way. 4 months after meeting each other, Matt and Tiffany become Mr. and Mrs.
They had 2 sons, and they bought a really nice house in Coleman.
Hey, baby, get over here.
Matt was ready to move on with his life.
Hey, neighbor. You gotta come join me and the family.
I mean, it just felt right. And he was very excited and very proud.
This is the life.
It was wonderful. They were very happy.
You son of a bitch!
Elsie, wait. He was nothing. Really.
But life isn't playing out so prettily for Elsie.
Elsie caught John with another woman, so I guess karma is good. But anyway, her and John got a divorce.
Elsie moves out in 2008, taking Daniel and Sarah with her. She rents a trailer and soon has a new companion of sorts, Tara.
Oh my God, you are crazy. It's in our blood, I thought.
Tara was Elsie's second cousin, and she had lived most of her life in Indiana. She did not really know Elsie that well beforehand.
How'd we not hang out before this?
The 2 women become fast friends.
You're awesome.
You know it.
They were very close. She and Tara spent a lot of time together.
But Elsie's new BFF isn't a father figure to her son. With John out of the picture, Elsie reaches out to Matt. Daniel is now 10 years old, and it has been 5 years since he's seen his dad.
Guess who called me? Elsie. Daniel wants to see me. I'm gonna see him this weekend.
Are you sure about this, Matt?
Oh, he was elated because he had missed Daniel always down through the years.
It's horrible to think this when a father's fixing to be reunited with his son, but I knew the trouble was brewing then.
Trouble is brewing, and it's about to reach boiling point.
There was a lot of speculation that there may have been a sexual relationship.
He had a gun, which he kept on the kitchen table just about all the time.
Seven years after Matt and Elsie Allen divorce, Matt is happily married to his second wife, Tiffany. But Elsie is also divorced from her second husband, John, and now she wants Matt to step up as a father figure to their son, Daniel. It's a role he badly wants.
Hi, Dad.
Daniel. Oh, man. Oh, I've missed you.
She was wanting to basically put the past behind him and, you know, wanting him to see his son and be in his life and everything.
Come on. I want you to meet Tiffany and the boys.
I was up for it because I wanted that too. You know, I wanted him to be able to have all three of his sons.
In the following months, everyone seems to settle into a routine. Daniel spends every other weekend with his dad and his family.
Oh, the Allen boys are on fire today.
I always liked him. He was a good kid.
Look at him go.
They were excited they had an older brother, and he was excited that he had two little brothers.
Matt had a storybook life going on. He had a nice house in the suburbs. He had a good wife. He had two boys that he loved dearly. He was living the American dream.
But as time wears on, something seems to be eating away at Matt.
What's up, babe?
Just tired of something.
He didn't really want to talk. He was kind of more withdrawn and kind of moody.
And what exactly do you do all day, Tiff?
Little things would kind of aggravate him.
I mean, look at this place.
It was difficult dealing with that because I didn't know why he was feeling that way.
What's going on with you?
And I would try to ask him why, but the more I would ask him, the less he would say. You know, I just wanted us to be happy because we had been I mean, we had been extremely happy.
You could just tell their relationship was having trouble. The rumors started coming up that Matt was going by Elsie's to see Daniel, and then at that point, Tiffany, like any other woman, started raising questions.
It's one day, Matt.
I have stuff to do tomorrow.
Things come to a head when a conversation about who is going to wake up with the boys one morning turns into a full-blown argument.
Oh, I love you too, honey.
Whatever.
He actually went to bed mad at me over that. So I was wondering, like, why he was so ill about that. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, you know.
But it is.
I'm leaving.
Are you serious?
He come with his clothes and he moved back home with us. I was never so surprised in my life.
As suddenly as Elsie left Matt 8 years earlier, Matt leaves Tiffany and the kids for Elsie.
Why he would give up his family and the life that they had built together and, you know, the happiness of his family for the type of torture that ultimately I knew that would ensue.
Because she was Elsie and he was Matt, they had so much history between those two.
I thought, oh my Lord, have mercy. How many times is she going to get the chance to destroy our lives?
I think Elsie was looking for some stability in her life, and she knew she could get it with Matt, and she slowly lured him back in under her spell, as I like to say.
I found out about 2 weeks after he left that he was back with Elsie. The first thing I felt, I wasn't even sad. I was extremely angry. He had been lying to me that he thought that he could just up and leave me.
Oh, that was delicious.
Made with love from my one and only son.
At 30, Matt Allen is twice divorced and living with his parents. His old trailer is still being rented. And when an eviction notice comes through Elsie's door, it's not long before she moves in as well.
Hello! How y'all doing? Let me go show you your rooms, okay? This is gonna be great. Hey, honey.
He said that she said that it would be different this time, that everything had changed.
Hi, Phyllis. Thanks for this.
Well, we didn't really have much of a choice, did we?
She had my grandson. I thought, I can't put him on the street, you know.
It's a tight squeeze. Phyllis, her husband, Matt, Elsie, and the 2 kids.
When I think about Elsie, I think about her being one of those captivating, powerful women who passive men have a hard time tearing themselves away from. And I feel like that's what happened to Matt. Even though he was in this great, stable relationship with Tiffany, Tiffany was sort of this nice, simple girl, and Elsie was, you know, the example of the hard-edged, alluring trouble. And he just had to go back to it, even though it was hurtful for him.
Sometimes when people have a profound disappointment in life, they fixate on that and they fantasize about repairing it, going back and reversing it like it never happened. And here he's getting a chance to do that, and what we've seen is that he doesn't really assert himself very much. But then when he does, it's in an inappropriate way, like upping and leaving his wife, who by all accounts hasn't done anything wrong, to go back and chase his fantasy of reconciliation with Elsie. And so it causes you to have to wonder, well, how might he inappropriately assert himself in the future if things don't go exactly how he wants?
To complicate matters, Elsie's ex-husband John files for custody of his daughter, and Matt loses his sons to Tiffany.
I took him to court and I got full custody of my kids. He knew that there was no point in fighting with me about it. You know, I wasn't trying to be spiteful. I wasn't doing anything out of spite. It was about not wanting them to be in a situation that I knew was going to end up bad.
In August, the struggling family moves back into the recently vacated trailer.
I think that beats our record.
Well, you're on, buckaroo.
Elsie, at that time, drank a lot. I mean, a lot. Of course, Matt drank too. And she didn't twist his arm, don't get me wrong.
Elsie and Matt's rekindled romance is no second honeymoon. Because wherever Elsie goes, Tara follows.
Why is she here?
Every weekend,
How's it going?
Tara would come.
Ooh.
And every time she came, she'd stir up some trouble between Matt and Elsie.
So when we putting baby Matt to bed?
She would always put him down or say something negative about him. Matt did not like Tara, and Tara did not like Matt.
Funny.
It was so plain that Tara wanted so much more out of Elsie than just a cousin-family relationship, you know.
There was a lot of speculation that there may have been a sexual relationship.
Whatever the truth, the edges of this love triangle are razor sharp.
That's it.
I said, son, you have made the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life.
She come in and just tore that family apart brick by brick.
Matt Allen and Elsie Wells move back in together 8 years after their divorce. But this time, they bring a lot more baggage, including Elsie's good friend, Tara.
She was always there, and they could never do anything as a family without her.
Hey.
Tara treated Matt like a rival.
Matt here?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh.
She sort of acted like a jealous spouse.
More or less, anytime Tara was around, she and Elsie would really bully Matt.
Elsie doesn't seem to be concerned about the rumors of something inappropriate between she and Tara any more than she was concerned earlier about the rumors of something inappropriate between she and John. And I think that what that suggests is that she really wasn't very serious about having a good, healthy relationship with Matt either time.
Being that there are rumors about Tara and Elsie, one might ask why Matt would go back. And my answer for that is clearly whatever blinders he was wearing in phase 1 of their relationship, he's got them back on again. It's really beginning to look like Matt suffers from low self-esteem and not very much ego strength. He seems willing to be in situations where he's treated badly and go back to those situations, and he doesn't seem to have the strength to stand up for himself or to walk away.
Matt! Matt! John says he's gonna stop paying child support for Sarah if I stay with you. And he's gonna fight for full custody.
That's it! Heading there now.
To complicate matters, there's trouble brewing between Matt and Elsie's ex, John.
Hey, a macho man.
And Elsie seems to feed the rivalry on both sides.
Give me a break. Come on.
Elsie would tell Matt something that John had said or did, and then Elsie would just turn around and start taking up for John.
With everything going on, Matt seems to be having some regrets.
He had told me he wished he could have went back in time and just not answered the phone that day that Elsie called.
Don't you think it's a little too early for that?
He didn't want to come out and admit that he was being bullied by 2 women. Matt was a proud man.
Get the hell out of my house! Tara, leave.
The more increasingly fed up he got, the more I saw, he's almost there. He's about to just be like, you know what, this is not working.
Matt gets an unexpected reprieve from his turbulent home life.
It's gonna be okay.
But it's not a happy occasion.
You just hold on, okay?
He had a blood clot in each one of his lungs.
Baby.
The blood clots is a scary thing because it can be a fatal thing. He was in the hospital over Thanksgiving.
It really disappointed him having to spend holidays in the hospital.
Matt's released from the hospital and is sent home with heavy-duty painkillers and a long-term prescription for blood thinners.
He was taking a lot of blood thinner, and he was really weak.
But Matt's serious condition doesn't prevent the couple from fighting. One night, Matt calls Mikey, looking for a place to escape.
I had told him, I said, Matt, if you can get to the house, I'll get you some gas. You know, you can get back home. You can just get up here. But he never made it up there.
At 10:45, the telephone rang, and it was Tara.
Yes, hello?
She said, can y'all come out here?
Why? What's wrong?
And she didn't say what was wrong. And she said, hurry, please. I thought, well, what in the world is wrong? So I went out there by myself. I jerked the door open.
Love you.
And I saw him laying there. I said, oh my God. Elsie was close to Matt, and I could hear her saying,
I love you. I love you.
I went to my son and I rubbed his face. And I couldn't get him to respond. There was a lot of blood. I thought he's not gone. He can't be gone.
Matt has been killed by a shotgun blast to the chest.
I'll try to explain that. I was in my house just about ready to go to bed, and the phone rang.
January of 2011 was called out to a shooting scene that happened after hours.
My son lying there in a pool of blood.
Everybody in the house at the time of the shooting were separated out, and they were giving statements as I arrived. Tara was in one vehicle, Elsie Thomas was in another vehicle, and they were writing down their statements.
With one body and two statements, a single question remains. Was this an accident?
I tried to save him. I didn't believe that for 1 second.
Or was it murder?
Something was just very, very fishy.
Matt Allen is dead at the age of 31 from a shotgun wound to the chest.
Present at the house when the incident occurred was Matthew Allen, Elsie Thomas, Tara, who is Elsie's cousin.
The police questioned both his ex-wife, now girlfriend, Elsie Wells Thomas, and her cousin and close friend, Tara Hughes.
Matt was out of control. He hated it when John called her. He hated it.
And he went nuts.
The witnesses were saying that there was an argument that stemmed from a phone call from an ex-husband named John. And then that argument escalated into Mr. Allen being shot.
Elsie tells police how the tragedy unfolded.
Aren't you bored of doing that? I mean, you know what that looks like, right?
Hello? Stop it. I said stop it, John. Just leave it. Just quit it, John. I mean it, okay?
That's it. You tell him I'm moving over there. Right
Just
now.
leave it, okay? I said, don't you dare go over there.
Matt wanted to go to John's house and basically beat him up.
Elsie tried to stop him from leaving, and that just pissed him off more.
You just leave it, don't you?
Why are you defending him?
It started out as just a verbal argument, then it got more physical.
He came after me and he started choking me.
He put his hands around her neck.
You're still in love with him, aren't you?
Matt, you're joking.
You're still in love with him!
At some point, Tara gets involved in it, trying to separate them.
Off of her!
Get away from me! Get off of her!
I tried to stop him, and then he turned on me.
He let go of Tara and he was reaching for his gun.
Say your last words.
And so I went into the other room and grabbed my .410 shotgun.
Don't you dare.
And shot him in the chest.
I tried to save him. I tried to save my husband.
That's when Tara calls Phyllis and 911.
Phyllis, you need to come over now. No, hurry up now!
Tara tells police a similar version of events.
She saved my life.
Elsie said that she was trying to protect her cousin, Tara.
The case is considered self-defense, and Elsie is released. Matt's family is outraged.
Furious.
Please, you've got to help me.
Matt's mom is so upset that she goes to see Pamela Casey, the new prosecutor in town.
I knew how my son was, what kind of person he was, and I knew that he had not hit her or choked her or whatever it was she claimed that he'd done. She was not getting away with it.
Phyllis was confident the first day that she came to see me that this was not a case of self-defense. But I just thought, having prosecuted for many years, that I had a mother that just could not accept the fact that her son had been killed.
Well, I could take a look. Wait a second. What?
As soon as I saw Matt lying on the floor and the position of the gun, something was just very, very fishy.
Yes, I'd like to order an autopsy for the Matt Allen case.
The gun that Matt had supposedly been threatening Tara with is her first clue.
Here was a man who had blood, had been shot in the chest, blood around his head, blood around in the floor, and yet here was this gun lying perfectly as though somebody had just walked up and laid it down in front of him.
Other parts of Elsie's story don't add up either.
Law enforcement did not see any defensive wounds on her that night. She talked about a struggle, but yet when you looked at the pictures, the kitchen was not in a disarray. Phyllis definitely believed that because of his medical condition, that he would not have been able to have put up a fight. Another thing that was stood out in my mind was if Elsie had time to go from one room to another room to get a firearm, then was she really in fear for her life? Instead of trying to take the gun away from him, she chooses to go across the house to get another firearm to come back.
Pamela orders an autopsy and blood spatter tests. And when the results come in, she has her case.
Just quit it! You're just gonna sit there? You gonna let him talk to me like that? Some man you are.
Elsie, stop.
I mean, look at you. Can't even stick up for your own wife. Useless.
I believe that she attempted to pick a fight that night between Matt and John and really wanted to see the two of them kind of duke it out.
That's it. I'm going to bed.
And when Matt didn't do as she wanted, she became furious, went to the bedroom, and came back with the shotgun.
Elsie! Elsie, think about what you're doing.
While it's impossible to know the exact sequence of events, Pamela thinks that Matt probably knew what was going to happen and begged for his life.
Just think about what you do, okay?
The autopsy and blood spatter analysis support her theory.
Elsie, please think about what you're about to do.
Matt was backed up against the wall. The barrel of the gun was within inches of Matt's body. Generally speaking, with guns being held within inches of their body, they're probably begging not to be shot and killed.
She does not believe Matt threatened Elsie with the gun at all.
She put the gun there to make it look as though Matt had a gun in his hand or was attempting to get a gun when she fired a fatal shot that killed him.
The evidence is presented to the grand jury, and in May 2013, Elsie Wells Thomas is arrested and charged with murder. The verdict, when it comes in, is bittersweet. Elsie is found guilty of manslaughter.
I don't understand why Elsie needed to kill Matt. She really had a great situation set up where she was having her cake and eating it too. And so it just makes me wonder if there's something in this story that we don't know about.
It would be shocking to me if the very first act of violence in Matt and Elsie's relationship was one of them shooting the other with a shotgun. So I would guess that there probably were a number of more minor but progressively escalating incidents of domestic violence in that relationship.
In September 2014, Elsie is ordered to serve a mere 2 years of a 12-year sentence and pay a $10,000 fine.
When the verdict was returned manslaughter, we were all just absolutely heartbroken.
Matt didn't get justice. They didn't get it right. We lost Matt forever. He was my best friend, he was my brother, and life just really, really sucks without him. He was a great guy.
He was a good son. He was a good daddy. He made some bad choices, but nobody on this earth is perfect. But one of the bad choices that he made, he paid for with his life.